So now we're going to bake our normal map. This is where we transfer all our sculpting details into our low poly model. And so let's start off with our tracksuit low first. So now we want to add another texture to our node setup here. So I'm going to press tab, hit image texture. Then we're going to connect this image texture into another node. But first let's create its settings here. So we're gonna call this tracksuit underscore normal underscore map. Oop, gotta spell it right. We're gonna leave it at 4K. Okay, and it should be good there. Next thing we want to do is add another node. So I'm gonna move this stuff over a bit, and I'm gonna press tab, type in normal, and then click on normal map. So then here, I want to collect the color of the image texture over to the color input of the normal map node. Then we want to connect this into our material. And so you just connect the normal output into the normal input. And then now that is all good and ready to go. So similar to baking our color map, we got to make some adjustments to our baking settings. So if we go over to our right, we're going to change our bake type to normal. And then we're going to change, I think everything else stays the same. So we are good here. Now we've got to select our high polys again. So let's bring those back out. So I need everything that deals with the jacket and the pants as well. Then the last thing I'm going to select is the tracksuit low. And then we're going to press bake. But make sure you have the tracksuit normal map selected, not the color map, right? Always make sure you're baking it to the correct node. So then press bake. So once it's done, we should see a purplish type texture. But this is showing all the sculpted detail that we did beforehand, right? So you can see all the stripes, the ridges, right? All that good stuff. Okay. And so then the next thing we want to do is continue adding to this normal map. So we're going to go ahead and select all our hat stuff next. So I'm going to go hair and all the hat stuff. Make sure that your hat low is your active object first, actually. Then select all your high polys, so the hair and the hat stuff. Then the last thing I'm gonna select is my hat low. Make sure it's still selecting the tracksuit normal map, double check that it's not clearing the image, and then go ahead and bake again. Once that is complete, right, we can do the same thing for the shoes. So I'm gonna make my shoes below my active object, select my high poly shoes, then select my low poly shoes, making sure I have the correct texture still selected, then press bake. Once that is done, right, we should see all our parts for this texture sheet baked on. If we hide our high poly character, let's just double check here. That looks pretty good, right? Now to actually have it working as a normal map, right? Because if I switch over here, it's still not, this is still not acting as a normal map. So what we want to do is double click your normal map one. We want to save this out. So then we're going to go on the onto the image editor here, and then click on the word image. You'll see the little star here because it's unsaved. So we want to go here, save as. And then you want to select wherever you, your file location where you want to save this stuff. Okay. And then make sure it's called Tracksuit Normal Map. Save as image. Then you want to head to the normal map node here. Then you want to make sure you change the source. You can open up the properties here or just on the oops on the node itself here. Make sure it is a single image. Then we're going to change our color space to non-color. And then we want to actually load our image here. So to do that, you're going to click this little open image, find your tracksuit normal map. And then now, if we come over here, back into our modeling tab, let's hide our high poly here. Oh, this is actually is our low poly now. We can see that detail baked into our model, right? You can see the actual normal map there. So to kind of have an idea of what that looks like, we can go back to our texture paint here, switch over our viewport shading, right? If I were to disconnect this here, right, you can see the difference, right? Our color here is a lot more flat, right? We see all the seam information, but if we connect it, right, all that just gets a little bit of more of a pop because all our sculpted detail is actually there now, which is pretty cool. You can see it on the hair is where you get the biggest benefit. right? That's pretty cool. And so next we will be baking out the normal map for the other texture sheets.